Blackbeard doesn't just fear death, he might fear something much worse. Being a nobody, which could mean being less famous than Foxy. This might explain everything that drives Blackbeard's actions and how it connects to his father Rox, why he's so eager for world domination, and why the man is in his devil fruit hunting era. So let's get into it. On the surface, Blackbeard comes off as a dopamine fiend, but not for the likes on post-blackout TikTok, which, by the way, shit sucks. His high is unchecked authority. Just look at the guy. 2 devil fruits, a crewmate of A-tier list degenerates, and a growing empire as a Yonko. But if you trace his behavior across arcs, there is a clearer pattern. He doesn't just want power, he wants to absorb everything. Fitting, since his original name was supposedly Everything D-Teach. Own it, steal it, either way, it lines up with his devil fruit. The Yami Yami no Mi sucks everything into a black hole. What makes Blackbeard dangerous isn't just his strength, it's how he strategizes. He is pure Machiavellian, ambition over everything, money over bitches. He doesn't build power from scratch, he appropriates it. Power structures, resources, people, it does not matter. If someone else has it, he will take it. He killed Thatch to steal the Yami Yami no Mi. He turned in Ace to the world government just to secure a warlord title. He baited Whitebeard into a war, killed him, then took his fruit and his place as a Yonko. During the time skip, he even claimed Hachinosu, an island that belonged to his father Rox, then Wang Ji, and now him after taking Wang Ji down during the Rocky Port incident. Every move reinforces the same truth. Blackbeard doesn't just want to rise, he wants to replace, erase, consume. Yummy in his tummy type shit. Despite all his posturing, Blackbeard moves like a guy who's insecure about his place in the world. It tells me that he doesn't trust that he can earn respect or build a legacy through natural or organic means, which puts him in direct contrast with Luffy. Honestly, he reminds me of Bishop from Juice, one of my favorite movies of all time. Like Bishop, Blackbeard chases the juice, respect, power, presence, by starting shit, stealing shit, and causing shit. But the juice he gets, it's never really his. He hijacks the influence of others to reach his goals. Every devil fruit his crew hunts down, every title he snatches, none of it screams confidence. Beyond just serving as stepping stones to reach the ultimate position of Pirate King and King of the World, it's all compensation, because deep down, he's scared of not mattering. That is the core of it. Blackbeard isn't just afraid of death, he is afraid of dying forgettable. He doesn't want to be another pirate who almost made it. He wants to be the one who took it all. Because to him, being forgotten is the same as dying, just like Dr. Hiroluke said. That might explain why Blackbeard keeps chasing more. Not just devil fruits, but territories, titles, and now he's targeting ancient weapons. He is on the grind 24/7, no sleep. Like he's trying to outrun the most existential question, which I'm sure a lot of us face all the time. What happens if I just stop working? That kind of mindset is not sustainable. Eventually, he'll run out of things to steal, or worse, he'll try to take something that can't be stolen, like Luffy eventually becoming king of the pirates, and you clicking that like button, subscribing to the channel, and ringing the bell if you're enjoying this discussion. I mean, he's just asking for burnout. I should know, I go through that shit all the time. It is not fun. And that's where the cracks in a strategy could begin to appear, because the moment someone challenges him, not just physically, but symbolically, his entire identity is at stake. Not as the strongest, but as the most real. And if your identity is built on taking from others, someone like Luffy, who's a kind and giving person, becomes your worst case nightmare. And this isn't just theoretical. I believe we've seen Blackbeard crack before like this. In chapter 576, the famous "The One Piece Exists" chapter, when Whitebeard looked him dead in the eye and said, "You are not the one Roger's waiting for." Blackbeard's reaction is pretty blunt, almost childish. But that's what makes it so revealing. For a guy who talks big and schemes even bigger, that brief pause kind of feels like a mask slipping. It seemed very personal to Blackbeard to hear that from Whitebeard. It was like Whitebeard was delivering the ultimate gatekeeping, like, bro, this is not your story. And coming from someone who stood at the top alongside Roger, that probably hit different for Blackbeard. When your entire sense of self is based on taking what others have, it doesn't take much to remind you that, at the end of the day, you ain't shit. And here's the real contrast. Luffy's not out here to convince anyone that he's the one. He just does his own thing. Meanwhile, Blackbeard's out here forcing a narrative, like he's playing the part, hoping it becomes true. For a guy who's clawed his way up by stealing power, being denied recognition by one of the few people whom Roger told what the D stood for, That's gotta be existential pain right there. That could explain why Blackbeard hunts devil fruits the way he does, because in One Piece, devil fruits reflect more than power. They symbolize dreams. Oda's framed them that way for years. People don't just eat them for strength, they inherit the spirit or belief behind them. So when Blackbeard steals a devil fruit, it's not just about taking power, it's a symbolic act of theft. It's like he's trying to consume others' dreams to cover up the emptiness inside him. Yes, he has ambitions, he wants to become Pirate King, certainly more than that, but it's not hard to feel that he views others' dreams as threats, because if other people achieve their dreams first, they become legends, and if they become legends, there might not be any space left for him to stand out. Again, that's his fear, being forgotten in a world that honors those who chase their dreams with everything they have. So he targets the fruits of their labor, literally, to gain power and to erase what others stood for before it can overshadow him. That really puts into perspective his famous quote that the dreams of men never end, as if he's saying there's an endless supply of dreams for him to consume and add to his sickening arsenal of exploitation. So where does this fear actually come from? The answer might be simple. His daddy, Father Rox D. Xebec. I'm making him sound like a man of God, but he just threatened God himself at the top of the world a couple of chapters ago. Rox was the guy with enough ambition to challenge the world, recruit legends, and threaten Emu, and yet today, not a word, with only a few of the top Marines as exceptions. For Blackbeard, as the son of Rox, that might have spelled doom for him. And if your own father, one of the most dangerous pirates in history, could be erased this cleanly, it makes sense why you'd be terrified of the same thing. Why would you start building your empire out of stolen valor and stolen dreams? Blackbeard's just trying to run from obscurity. That's why he's so obsessed with fate, keeping Rox's legacy alive and making sure his name doesn't vanish like Rox. He wants to make damn sure the world knows who he is, even if he's got to take over the world just to do it. And this is where the Ace foil comes into sharper focus, because Ace didn't carry the burden of an erased name. He carried the most famous one, Goldie Roger, the Pirate King. Everyone knew his father's name would cast a massive shadow, but instead of pushing people out of the spotlight, Ace fought to define himself. His dream wasn't to become Pirate King or to take over the seas. It used to be, but after joining Whitebeard, his dream was to make him the king, and what Ace ultimately wanted was to be accepted, to validate his existence, to matter on his own terms. That's where he and Blackbeard diverge completely. Blackbeard sees other people's dreams as threats. If they shine too bright, they risk outshining him. Ace, on the other hand, saw strength in connections. He didn't need to steal someone else's spotlight. He found meaning in being part of a crew that saw him as family and loved him. And ironically, even in death, Ace is remembered not just for who his father was, but for who he was. And that's what Blackbeard lacks. He's still collecting titles, powers, and territory, but I think what Oda is trying to get across is that none of it guarantees he'll be remembered for himself, personally in the long run, just for what he took. What's so fitting about Blackbeard's fear, especially when tied to Rox, is how we see this King Harold flashback that prominently features Rox and Elbaf. In Elbaf, their entire society values dying a heroic death to earn glory. Even Usopp's dream of becoming a brave warrior of the sea, inspired by Elbaf culture, connects to that idea of building your own legend, which Blackbeard is clearly trying to do. That's why I have an entire playlist about Elbaf that explains these ideas, and you can go check it out right now.